Oh, come on, Sherri Shepherd. You didn't think we were that stupid, did you? I'm really gonna have to talk about it because nobody's talking about it. That's why I must. Well, people are talking about it, but they're not talking about it the way Chanel's gonna talk about it.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
She's an icon, she's a legend, and she is the moment. Now, come on now.
Megan.All Stallion is a rapper, a performer, a Grammy Award-winning artist, a philanthropist, a college graduate, and the real hot girl coach. But in none of that did I ever say Megan.All Stallion is a role model to young, impressionable Black girls. Honestly, I'm just very tired of the Megan.All Stallion discourse. I think it is absolutely tired. I think that everybody is using it to try to come up, get a storyline, get a moment.
Hey y'all, it's Editing Chanel here. I know that whole event and everything happened in March. However, after Sherri doubled down on it a week ago from me recording this video, I had to talk about it, okay? I don't care if it was done a year ago. I'm gonna talk about it, period. Enjoy the video or don't. I literally can't force you. Okay, bye.
I am trying to keep this very cool, calm, and collected so that the whole respectability politic thing won't immediately make you turn away because I'm not being cool or proper, because I'm being ghetto. But once we're done with that, please understand, I'm not really gonna bust a hole in Sherri Shepherd's ass. I'm also gonna encourage you guys on why the whole thing about expecting Black women to be role models to people they never signed up for or nor are marketed to, mammifying them, making them an auntie, making them a role model, making them a caretaker is really harmful. And I'm also gonna kind of educate you guys on why this is done a lot with Gen Xers and a lot of Black Gen Xers, okay? Because the same can't be said for the white ones, but we'll get on that later. Well, I wasn't expecting my return back to YouTube after 2 months to be like this, but one thing about it is Chanel's World, we talk all things TV and pop culture, and I am super excited to go ahead and get into this topic today because one thing about it, y'all need to leave Megan.All Stallion alone. Leave Megan.All Stallion the fuck alone, okay? That's the first thing. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and get into the rest of this video, right? Because I didn't want to start off with that, but hey y'all, what's up and welcome to Chanel's World. What an introduction. Here we talk all things TV and pop culture, and I'm super excited to get into this topic with y'all because today we're gonna talk about how Sherri Shepherd said something that didn't really stick nor land, but we're gonna talk about why she thought it did. We're gonna talk about the type of mindset that she has and how that can affect Black women and what Black women should and should not be expected to do. And one of those things is not to be your motherfucking role model, okay? After this video, you may love me, you may like me, I don't care, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna talk about it. Make sure you're following me on all social medias. You already know what's going on. And I'm actually gonna educate y'all. So get comfortable a little bit, drink a little bit of wine, sip a little bit of drink, and get into this educational read/kiki that we're about to do while I talk to y'all because I'm just tired of it, y'all. Let's get into the video because I want y'all to hear it before I say what I have to say. But know that this is a mindset that is taken on by a lot of older Black women and older Black people in general. We're gonna kind of talk about why. We're also gonna talk about how it's harming and damning, especially to this new generation of women and women in general.
Stallion wore a dark green gown with only matching green pasties to cover up her breasts. And so this is where I have to put my Auntie Sherri wig on. And I say this with all of the love that I have. Ladies, this is not it. And I say this because there are young women, young girls who are looking up to all of you. Remember when your grandmother would tell you, let them use their imaginations. Let them use their imaginations. But you know, when they look at these girls, they don't have any secrets. Nobody gets to use imagination or their mind. And I want to say, Megan.All Stallion, I love you. I do.
Be nice. I'm finding it.
And I know people, a lot of these celebrities, they say they don't want to be a role model. But here's the thing, it comes with the territory.
This assumption and weird expectation in the Black culture where we see that women are assigned a moral and emotional leadership role even before they're ready is really harmful, and it's something that takes place multiple times, even when we're talking about, the whole auntie thing. I'm auntie because I don't have no kids and I'm single and I'm successful. That doesn't automatically make me an auntie. Doesn't automatically make me somebody that's, oh, I'm gonna get on you. TT said, doesn't make me your role model because I am rich, single, and successful. It doesn't make me none of those things. But when it comes to these emotional leadership roles, the Black community unfortunately gives it to Black women without their consent, right? Without their consent, under the guise of community responsibility. That presents this issue because we should never age code women, especially prematurely, to fit these roles. Like, we need to recognize that every single Black woman on this earth that exists does not exist to be your example. Now, once we get past that first point, y'all okay with that? Is y'all mad at me? Y'all mad at me? Okay, cool. We understand why this expectation is harmful, because it not only puts an unfair weight on Black women's shoulders, and I am a Black woman, right? But it also flattens our identity and encourages like outright misogyny and hypocrisy. But one question I want you to ask yourself is, why are Black women always expected to be, but not able to just simply be? Think about that for a second and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. So who is Sherri Shepherd, right? Because I feel like before we even talk about the situation and why that itself is so damning, you have to kind of understand who Sherri Shepherd is and kind of understand the background. Because one thing about me, if I'm understanding the background of people's genetic makeups and why they do the things that they do, it makes sense. Doesn't make it right, but it makes sense, right? Sherri Shepherd was born on April 22nd of 1967, which makes her a Generation X, right? This is like when they were trying to get into tech, when tech really started taking off, you know, but they were also still fresh out the civil rights era. Like, it's a weird time because they're not baby boomers, they're not millennials, but they're a little bit more tech savvy, but not all the way completely there, right? A lot of the Gen Xers have, like, you know, proximity to the civil rights era. Their great grandmother maybe have been a slave. The great grandmother might have been a mammy. So a lot of them have a proximity to the civil rights era for that space. A lot of them have also not seen themselves in other spaces, like the media space, like culture, like, you know, all these different types of jobs, because we were trying to focus on doing a certain thing. So this is Gen X, right? They're learning things, they're on it, they're educated, they're getting their money, they're getting a coin, they're investing. But the issue is that Gen X tends to lean on respectability politics, right? And what are respectability politics? They are social and behavioral codes, often promoted within marginalized communities, right? Because, you know, Black communities, people of color, that encourage the community to conform to, or basically assimilate themselves into what's seen as societally acceptable, especially in a white society, right? So white middle-class society, they want us to conform to what is acceptable and good to them, which often means putting away our personality or dumbing ourselves down or whatever in order to gain acceptance, safety, or inclusion into whatever these things are that may have been happening, right? So this often sounds like, pull your pants up, that's ghetto, why you talk that way, why do you do this and that nature? And it even comes into like a reverse respectability thing, because when you do talk proper and you do talk like you like know English and like you went to school, people then say that you sound white. So that's like a whole another thing. But respectability politics, like it's what's said. It's what's said and communicated, right? So like you have to be twice as good to reach their one level. It's basically a social and behavioral code, which means that you have to perform and be and act decent as and present yourself as classy and tamed or white and middle class, right? So we already see that this whole problem is rooted in what is deemed acceptable and to be accepted into a white space, because white people don't have to change who they are to be accepted anywhere. They can just go and be. But for us, it's completely different. And unfortunately, some people carry that as that being the norm or that being right? Like I feel like there's a moral right and I feel like there's a respectability politic. And when those start like clashing, everything just sounds off, right? So it doesn't explain her calling out Megan.Thee Stallion when there's a million other celebrities, male, female, they're not trying to be a role model, male, female artists that are not trying to be role models to young women, that do not make music for younger generations, even though younger generations may consume them, right? And she's never brought them up, right? We have all of these artists all over the world. These men are still talking about shooting, rapping guns, and doing popping drugs, taking pills, and overdosing, and how that's cool and quirky and fun. But we're not talking about that, right? So we're not really keeping it even when it comes to respectability, because respectability politics state that you saying that and you portraying that, you're not being a good role model. But we're never addressing men that same way. We're never addressing male artists that same way. Oh, you should be a better role model. I'm not gonna tell G Herbo, you need to be a better role model. You're a rapper that's been rapping about the South Side of Chicago and his violence for years. I'm not gonna tell Lil Durk, you need to be a better role model. Or I should, right? If that's what I believe. But I'm also not gonna tell Megan.Thee Stallion you need to wear a t-shirt because you got young girls watching you. First of all, why are young girls watching you? This respectability politic, or this societal or behavioral norm actually started as a reaction to survival in white spaces. Gag the house down here. So basically, many Gen X Black Americans grew up you know, like I said, just right after the civil rights era. So even if they might not have been like the faces or hit with any racism, they great-grandma, great-great-great-grandmama, Mammy, slave, one of them, they was playing that. Okay, cool. The goal was assimilation, right? Because at first we were segregated and we realized that we wasn't getting everything equally apart. So then the goal was to like assimilate into these white spaces, especially when slavery became illegal. A lot of Gen Xers go into white spaces looking to immediately assimilate because they want to look and act respectable to avoid the inevitable discrimination, right? Because just because slavery is illegal doesn't mean that people aren't racist, and that doesn't mean that people will see you and not make up a general opinion or thought of you, right? So that's the one thing. Again, the proximity to the civil rights era. So the generation kind of inherited this ideal of like presenting oneself as like a model citizen. What is a model citizen? What is an American citizen at this day and point in age? Too much? Okay, I'm sorry. They thought that it could help, or they run with the idea that it could help, you know, dismantle the stereotypes and prove that Black people are, you know, worthy in this hostile world, right? Which is so sad and honestly crazy, because my culture shouldn't be the thing that makes me less worthy. If anything, it should make me more worthy, especially because when y'all came and y'all was stealing cultures and things of this and that nature, now you want me to dumb down my culture and you was already stealing mine? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is just, I knew this was gonna happen like this. And a final thing, right? And is that media representation was scarce. Media representation is still scarce when it comes to Black media. And this kind of comes back to Sherri Shepherd. She's a comedian. She's done reality TV shows. She is having like the talk show host. So she's been in the media dominant space. So with few Black women on screen, with few Black people in spaces of digital media, of television, cable, comedy, things of that nature, Gen X feels that one wrong move can literally tank the opportunities for everyone, right? So they feel that if I don't present myself as being perfect, out the way, clean, cut up, not bothering anybody, not doing anything, not getting on anybody's nerves, not distressing or inconveniencing someone, I am protecting myself and my fellow Black Americans for having more opportunities like this, because we are never given these opportunities and we're never seen on screen. And I'm not thinking that's due to racism and discrimination and things we should get rid of. I'm thinking that's due to how we present ourselves as a Black people, even though I've never presented myself in a certain type of way. I guarantee you, Sherri Shepherd has never presented herself in a certain kind of type of way, or has never dressed like Megan.Thee Stallion, but has still missed out on opportunities within the Black media space, which has still missed out on opportunities within the white media space. Because you don't understand, the respectability doesn't get you or keep you a job. It doesn't make you more qualified. It doesn't even make you more worthy. Most times when people get promoted, respectability is not a factor here. Racist, but clock it. This really lines up with why this was like a thought that Sherri Shepherd could have, right? Now, again, this is not dismissing, this is not making that it's okay, but it's simply talking about it because it needs to be said. If you do not understand that Sherri Shepherd is a Gen Xer and the environment that she was in and what could have possibly possessed her to make a stupid ass comment like this, then you're gonna be lost, right? So that's why I have to get into that. I just explained it to you. That's how she is. Cool, great. Why is this outdated and why is this harmful? Because it is, right? First of all, that the issue with respectability politics is that they're really only geared towards the minority like communities, in communities of color, in Black communities, right? Because it suppresses individuality within us and freedom within us. Again, white people are free to express themselves however. Even when a white person wears braids for the point of mocking a Black woman, there is still probably a Black or white woman still supporting her decision, because they are telling her, y'all can't tell her what to do. She can wear braids if she wants to express herself. Oh, is it clocking to you? Are you getting it? Right? So respectability politics suppress the individuality of the people that uphold it. Yep, they suppress Black individuality. That hurts, doesn't it? While white counterparts, again, like I said, are celebrated for these same type things. We should not be policed to appease a survival tactic in white spaces that don't even work anyway. Let's just keep it real. It doesn't work, and only Black bodies are upholding it. White people aren't. Like they're doing whatever they want to do. No, literally, they're doing whatever they want to do. Another thing that's harmful about this is the double standard. Like I was saying before, we don't hold male rap artists at the same criticism, nor does this conversation come up with male rap artists as much as it does with female rap artists, specifically female Black rap artists. When would a girl that says big old freak, big booty, big old tree ever be considered a role model for a 13-year-old girl, for a 6-year-old girl? But a YN. The thing with respectability is that there's always a double standard. There's always like the boys will be boys, but you need to work harder as a girl, right? Right, so it's a double standard. It's a double standard from Black woman to white woman. It's a double standard from woman to man. It's a double standard because we're not holding other counterparts at the same expectation that we hold ourselves to. And we actually beat on women more for not reaching these standards, Black women specifically. And it's hypocrisy because we don't hold their counterparts at the same type of level or weight or criticism, right? Is that the whole thing about shame-based control, right? So shame-based control is often what men use whenever a woman is sexually assaulted. Well, maybe if you acted better, or well, maybe if you was wearing something appropriate, or what were you wearing, right? It's always what were you wearing, but then when you're a nun and you're still getting raped in the back of the alley, they want to ask what you were doing. So it's shame-based control. Let me control your narrative by asking you, why didn't you take the steps to make sure that something did not happen, right? So let me do this right. So shame-based control is basically trying to shame us into doing what you feel is right. And shame us with your own internal struggles and your own ways that you feel like you can express yourself and try to tell us what we should do, right? Which I really feel like was the case with Sherri Shepherd. I feel that instead of Sherri Shepherd facing her own internal shame, right? Checking within herself and addressing the societal racism and misogyny that exists within her against her own, that lets her even think to speak anything as decrepit as this. Instead of doing that, she decides to shade Megan. And she couldn't even be upfront about it. And there's one thing I hate. Woo! This, you know those get on my nerves. What grinds my gears? I hate a auntie ass bitch. I hate an auntie ass bitch. And I'm not even trying to get on you right now, Sherri Shepherd. And I told myself I wasn't gonna cuss you clean out. But I hate a bitch that try to disguise under being an auntie or being a grandma. Or can I just be for a second? No, you can't be for a second. You can't be not ever. You can't be not ever. Why would you want to intentionally be? That's the issue now. No, you can't just, no, you can't be an auntie. At least Wendy Williams was fucking real. At least Wendy Williams will tell you, I feel like she ain't got enough clothes on and, you know, everybody else is out here like that, but I just don't like when she does it. That's a real bitch. But you go over here, can I be auntie for a second? Can I be? Trying to hide it. Oh my gosh, she just being so sweet. She just trying to be like a voice in the community. You clout chasing. You are a clout chaser. Like, you couldn't even be upfront about it. Like, you're weird. And I'm about to tell y'all why Sherri Shepherd was just downright weird for this. And I'm really about to tell y'all why she actually did this and why it still flopped and failed. Because one thing about me, when we talk about all things TV and pop culture, please understand that that includes marketing and media and social. And you have been in this industry too long to see something as cheap as this will get people to care about Sherri Shepherd show. Megan is a rapper. She's an adult female rapper. Her content is mature. Her content is 18 plus. Her content is 21 plus if you're asking me, and I'm 25, right? Not made for kids. Never claimed to be for the kids, never expressed a title. I don't even think she's rapped a nursery rhyme. So where in the hell would I assume that she would be a role model? And that's not saying that she isn't, right? But that's not really on her to uphold a role that she never agreed to, right? It's like who put her in the role? Because to be a role model for young girls have to see it, and by seeing Megan, they have to have parents who somehow provide them and the access to see Megan.Thee Stallion or online. Like, oh my God, it's almost like she's not a role model because as a parent, I don't have my young daughter watching or listening or exposed to Megan.Thee fucking Stallion. There's that, right? And then number two, this reeks of hypocrisy. Like, I could maybe take you serious, like I said, if you're a Monique and this is your constant message, and we're hearing this all the time for Sherri Shepherd telling girls we need to cover up for you. Fuck. But this isn't something that you say all the time. You don't address yourself as auntie all the time. You don't play auntie all the time, right? Maybe you do, but nobody watches the show to know. So there's that. Why do you want to try to hold Megan Thee Stallion accountable for how she's presenting herself? But when Jonathan Majors got on your show, you wanted to coddle him like the Mammy. Like you were his Mammy. He was born to a white bitch, and you were coddling him like a Mammy does, a Mammy slave. Why? And what, to try to create sympathy, which also didn't work because you're Sherri Shepherd and no one fucking cares. But you want to be an auntie. Talking to Megan Thee Stallion, who's lost a lot of actual family in her life that actually care about her. God damn it, Sherri Shepherd, I don't even think you and Megan Thee Stallion had a conversation. And a conversation like that would have never happened on no fucking TV show. Let's keep that a buck fucking real. I'm tired of the bullshit. I'm tired. If I'm gonna come back on here and I'm gonna give this all my all, then I'm gonna be fucking honest. I'm tired of it. It's sick as fuck. Like what? Point 3. And I think this is why I'm so upset. This is why social media, Bachelors of Science and Cinema Arts and Television, Internet, and Mobile Media Me is upset about this. Because Sherri, you were never concerned about Megan. You never really gave a fuck for real, right? Like this was a bit that had to be approved by the writers in the room, right? You know? And it's like, keep in mind, like I said, the last time anybody talked about Sherri Shepherd was Jonathan Majors. And even his presence could make nobody give an absolute fuck. You have a vast, beautiful, well-decorated history in all things TV and pop culture, right? Like, so I can't act like you don't understand how things work. You see that Megan Thee Stallion has not had a positive social media run or a positive social media outlook or discourse or discussion for a while. And that Megan is always talked about as the butt of the joke because people are screaming free Tory. Right? And as the baddies would say it, as Krishan Rock said it, you're a cloud chaser. Megan did this thing. Nobody's been talking about me. Everybody's harping on her. So if I present myself in this auntie, older, role model-esque way to her, even though I don't give a fuck about her, everybody might agree with me. Because if we're all bandwagoning and slapping on and disrespecting Megan and saying all this stuff, saying free Tory, saying wish she would have got shot, wish she would have died, all of that type of stuff, then if I talk as the auntie that cares for Megan, it doesn't seem shady when I bring her up. Oh, come on, Sherri Shepherd. You didn't think we were that stupid, did you? Your bits have to get approved, love. And let's be honest, the media is not really highlighting anything positive about Megan Thee Stallion. It doesn't matter what she does. Even when they do, there's still negativity on there because people are supporting Tory. I can't think that out of all of these women celebrities, out of all of these highly sexual women celebrities, I mean, yeah, if we're talking about body, I can't think that about everybody else. You somehow think to talk about Megan Thee Stallion, and it's just you being an auntie. It's bullshit. It's terrible marketing, and it still didn't make me go watch the show. So what a failure. Unfortunately, Sherri was looking for a pickup, and she might have got it on the Shade Room or on Neighborhood Talk, right? Or wherever I saw this clip. Never mind the fact that like there's parents in the world, and it's kind of their responsibility to shape what role models their kids flock to. I'm not a mother. I don't have children, and I don't let anyone assume that I do. But if I did, right? I'm not gonna expect Megan Thee Stallion, who's doing what she's always done, all the time. I'm not gonna expect her to adjust it and change it for a kid she may not ever meet or know. If she's not making llama llama red pajama on the track and saying big booty freak, big booty, big old tree, I'm gonna make him wait for the pussy. I'm not going to let my child fashion her or see her as a role model. Not in the age bracket, right? Like, wait a minute, parenting is still a thing, right? Like somebody could have parented you to not say that, but parenting is still a thing. Listen, y'all, I have went in. I have said what I thought I was never gonna say, and I said I was gonna talk about it, and I'm gonna take it down, I'm gonna edit it. But let me tell y'all something. One thing we need to do is stop forcing Black women into roles that they never agreed to. So when Jackie Anna says, I'm not an auntie and I don't want to be considered auntie and I'll block you if you call to me Auntie Jackie, she ain't wrong. let's stop expecting Black women to jump into these harmful roles, which really stem from respectability politics, hypocrisy, and the mammification of Black slave women. If y'all made it to this video, y'all are absolutely insane, and you may or may not feel the exact same way I felt, and you just wanted to get all your points across before we start arguing in the comments. That's fine too. But if you did like this video by any means, please feel free to comment, share, subscribe to your girl. It is free. It is free right now. If you subscribe to me, it's literally free. Like, I'm not gonna try to tell you nothing or nothing, but I really would appreciate it. And I definitely am excited to come at y'all with more content in the second half of the year because I'm done moving, I'm settled in, and I really gotta get into these topics, okay? And I thought Diddy was gonna bring me back. I thought R. Kelly being rushed to the hospital was gonna bring me back. But no, it was Megan.Freaking Stallion, and I will ride for her every single time. And y'all really need to leave my girl alone for real. She ain't never did nothing but be pretty, turned up, and drunk. And it is what it is, okay? So that is the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And until next time, it's Chanel's where we talk all things of TV and pop culture. And I cannot wait to talk to y'all about the next thing. Bye.